In the 5th, 10th, and 16th centuries, Lisbon shone as the wealthiest and most dazzling city in all of Europe, a magnificent gateway to the New World, bathed in golden sunlight and overflowing with priceless gold from Brazil, exotic spices from India, and glittering diamonds from Africa that arrived on grand sailing ships every day. Portugal proudly led the glorious age of discoveries, sending fearless explorers across oceans and bringing back unimaginable riches that transformed the city. Yet this radiant golden era rested on the tragic foundation of the transatlantic slave trade, which Portugal pioneered as the first European nation. The magnificent Praça do Comércio, now one of the most vibrant and beautiful squares in Europe, with its triumphant arch facing the river, was once the very heart of the slave trade. Enormous ships docked right here at the Tagus, unloading thousands of enslaved Africans, who were openly sold in public auctions amid the city's opulent splendor. Historic neighborhoods like Madragoa and the ancient winding streets of Alfama and Han, Moraria housed diverse and vibrant communities drawn by the city's prosperity. But deep suffering persisted in the shadows, with forgotten mass graves, such as Pocodos, Negros bearing silent witness to countless lives lost beneath the glittering surface of wealth. In 1506, amid fears of plague and drought, a wave of religious fanaticism swept through the city, erupting into a tragic massacre where thousands of new Christians and Jews were brutally killed by mobs in the streets. A heartbreaking dark episode that cast long shadows over Lisbon's otherwise radiant golden age. The immense wealth flowing into Lisbon funded the construction of breathtaking palaces, monasteries, and ornate churches that still stand today as some of the world's most enchanting architectural treasures. Yet this prosperity carried hidden human costs, with exploitation and injustice contrasting sharply against the city's unparalleled beauty and light. Beneath the triumphant glory of the Age of Discoveries lay complex foundations built on both extraordinary human achievement and profound tragedy, a layered and captivating legacy that adds depth and mystery to Lisbon's enduring charm, making it a city that continues to fascinate visitors from around the world. In 1536, King John III established the Portuguese Inquisition in Lisbon, primarily targeting new Christians, descendants of Jews forcibly converted, who were suspected of secretly practicing Judaism in hidden corners of their homes. The Inquisition's headquarters was the Grand Esthouse Palace on Rocio Square, where secret trials took place in dark chambers. Torture was routinely used to force confessions of heresy and hidden Jewish rituals from terrified prisoners. Most victims were new Christians accused of Judaizing, secretly observing Shabbat, avoiding pork, or holding disguised Passover seders, practices that preserved their ancient faith beneath the facade of Catholic devotion. The terrifying climax was the auto da fe, elaborate public spectacles held on Rocio or Terreiro do Paco, where condemned prisoners paraded in humiliating garments before vast crowds gathered for masses, sermons, and sentencing. Prisoners wore Sambenito robes and tall carroza hats as marks of shame. Those who repented faced flogging or the galleys, while the unrepentant were handed to secular authorities and burned alive in riverside pyres. Over centuries, Lisbon witnessed hundreds of these grim ceremonies, with thousands punished across Portugal and more than 1,000 burned alive, many executions taking place right on the Tagus waterfront under smoke-filled skies. This long era of fear and religious intolerance deeply scarred Lisbon, turning once sacred streets into stages of terror. Yet even through these dark centuries, the city's resilient spirit and beauty somehow endured in the shadows. On November 1st, 1755, All Saints' Day, Lisbon was struck by one of history's most devastating earthquakes, estimated at magnitude 8.5 to 9, shaking the city violently for several minutes while churches were filled with worshippers lighting candles. The powerful tremors toppled thousands of buildings across the city, from grand palaces and monasteries to humble homes. Fires quickly ignited from overturned candles and kitchens, spreading rapidly through the wooden structures and narrow streets. Just 40 minutes after the quake, the first of 3 massive tsunami waves surged up the Tagus River, reaching heights of up to 20 meters and flooding the lower city, sweeping away survivors who had fled to the open waterfront for safety. The triple catastrophe, earthquake, fire, and tsunami, lasted only hours, but destroyed nearly 85% of Lisbon, killing tens of thousands in a city of over 200,000, leaving survivors in shock amid smoking ruins. King Jose I and his minister the Marquess of Pombal survived by chance outside the city, returning to lead an extraordinary reconstruction that banned traditional wooden construction and introduced innovative anti-seismic designs still admired today. Under Pombal's visionary leadership, Lisbon was reborn in just decades with wide avenues, uniform facades, and a rational grid layout, turning tragedy into one of the world's first modern planned urban reconstructions. The Great Earthquake of 1755 shattered Lisbon physically and philosophically, shaking faith across Europe. Yet from total devastation rose a brighter, more enlightened city whose resilient beauty continues to inspire the world centuries later. Even after centuries, Lisbon carries echoes of its tragic past in haunted ruins and forgotten places. Locals still whisper about restless spirits wandering the rebuilt streets, drawn by memories of suffering and sudden death. The Convento do Carmo, left in ruins as a permanent memorial to the 1755 earthquake, is considered one of Lisbon's most haunted sites. Visitors report cold spots, unexplained voices, and shadowy figures moving between the open-air Gothic arches. Beneath modern Lisbon lies a vast network of ancient underground tunnels and cisterns, some dating back to Roman and Moorish times. Dark, damp passages where guides tell stories of lost souls and strange echoes heard in complete silence. The flooded Roman galleries under Rua da Prata and the mysterious tunnels connecting palaces and the river were once escape routes during disasters. Today, some claim to sense presences of those who perished, trying to flee through them. Legends speak of ghostly inquisitors still patrolling the old Rocio area and pale figures of earthquake victims appearing near the Tagus at night. Fado singers have even woven these tales into their melancholic songs for generations. In Alfama's narrow moonlit alleys and abandoned Moorish wells, residents report apparitions of former slaves and persecuted souls, gentle knocks, fleeting shadows, and sudden chills that remind the city of its unresolved past. Yet from the ashes of catastrophe and the shadows of its past, Lisbon rose anew, rebuilt with visionary grace. It remains one of Europe's most beautiful and vibrant cities, where history whispers in every sunlit street.